You know, do you remember um, Robinson Crusoe? And he's on the island and he's on his own. And then one day um, he sees footprints in the sand, and he realizes that he's not alone. And that feeling of a sense of that he's not alone on the island really made him feel that there was hope, that there was that he wasn't on his own, and that there was a future for him, because he just wasn't alone and isolated. And you know, that's, I think, one of the main reasons why I believe in Christ and why I don't believe in atheism or follow atheism or accept atheism, because according to atheism, in this universe, all that there is us, human beings, and there's nothing else out there, and the universe is silent and empty as to what the universe is all about, what it means, why we're here, where we're going. But with believing in Jesus, just like the footprints in the sand on the island for Robinson Crusoe, I see the footprints on in the universe in Jesus Christ, and in Him, He gives me a sense of the meaning to the universe and the meaning that I'm not alone and that there is a purpose to it all. I remember, I'll just talk a little bit. I remember I've always been quite a lonely child. I remember when I was a young lad, perhaps maybe 14 or 15, I used to steal books from the library. I used to steal psychology books, and I used to read them and try to find out what life meant. And so I had a grasp of the history of psychology when I was about 15. As I told you, I committed attempted armed robbery, but just before I committed attempted armed robbery with a toy gun, um, I um, I was doing an open university degree, and I was looking. I looked at. I was reading Russell's History of Western Philosophy, and I just felt that I couldn't understand. It was just you'd read Spinoza, and then you'd read about Kant, and you'd read these different writers, philosophers. There just didn't seem to be anyone came up with a definite meaning to life, and it was just one philosopher knocking the next one down. So I didn't find any meaning there. When I went into prison, I saw some of the chaplains, and I felt that they had something. And I came out of prison, and eventually I went to a church. Some of you know the background to it. And I read some books, and I felt these old books that these ladies had given me from church really spoke to me, by Spurgeon and Dr. Lloyd Jones, classic Christian books. They really spoke to me, and they really made me feel that there was a meaning to life. And you know, I was really cynical. Really, I didn't believe in anything or anyone. I was the most cynical person in all the world, and I found it really hard to believe that the Bible was true, that to believe Jesus was the Son of God. I didn't find it easy at all. I was kicking against it every way, every step of the way. And you know, to be honest, I have found God with me over the years. Um, but you know, I've suffered a lot. I've really suffered and really struggled. God's been good to me. He's given me good Christian friends, and I'm very grateful for that. And I, to be honest, I don't know where I'd be without some of my Christian friends. They've just been such a blessing to me. But I have a natural tendency to depression, and I'm a very deep thinker, and you know, and these things really can make me struggle at times, and and I don't know what to say really, but I just I've suffered a lot, and I've struggled a lot. I've really struggled. I've not found being a Christian easy at times, and I've not been the best of Christians at times. You know, I've failed, and I've had issues that I've struggled with. Um, but you know something, um, God has been there with me. He has been in my journey, and He is with me in my journey. And this is what I want to share now. I'll just give you a little bit about my past, but the main reason why I'm not an atheist, the main reason is I honestly, and I'm not just saying this, and I don't mean this in an arrogant way, but I've never met an atheist yet, nor ever heard an atheist apologist, and I say this with all respect. I've listened to Bertrand Russell, and I've heard Hitchens, and I've heard Sam Harris, and I've heard Dawkins, but I honestly have never ever yet heard anything from the atheists that I have found intellectually challenging. I've never been intimidated by it, because I'm at home reading Foucault and Derrida and Deleuze and things like that. So when I hear these modern atheists apologists, I just don't feel intimidated or threatened by anything they say. It just doesn't get into my armour. It doesn't interest me. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel beaten down. I don't feel they've won the argument or anything like that. I just don't. That's the honest truth. I don't mean that in any arrogance whatsoever. Why? The ultimate reason why I believe is this. Philippians chapter 1 verse 21. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. And you know, today I was really down today. I mean, I was really down, because I get these down moments I struggle with, you know, and I was really down, and I'm really struggling today. And I said, God, I just need your help to get through this day. Because if I followed atheism, I wouldn't see any meaning to life personally. I know that we can love our family and live for our family, and that's absolutely important. I understand that. But I need a meaning to life, an ultimate meaning. I have to function on an ultimate meaning. And atheism wouldn't give me that, and so I definitely wouldn't be able to function. I'd need to know what the meaning of history is, and the ultimate meaning to life. I just would. That's just me. I'm not saying that for you. So when I read this today, for to me to live is Christ and to die is gain, I read that in my despair today. And I'm not kidding, I felt a peace. I felt a real peace. And I felt a real sense of purpose for myself and for the meaning of life, and generally for me to live is Christ. I just want to live for Him, because I have a relationship with Him, and I can feel it in my heart. It's like honey. It's like a sweetness in your soul. I can't explain it, but it's a sweetness. And it helps us to cope with things. It helps us to deal with things. And it gives a meaning and purpose, because it is a reality. And I know that I met with Jesus today. I met Him in reality in my heart. I just know that. And you say, well, Jay, that's not an argument. That's not evidence. I know that. But I'm just sharing that for me, it's met me, and it's been a blessing to me. That Christ, for me to live is Christ, and then to die is gain. To know that when we die, we'll be with Christ forever. And you know, my dad has been ill, and his aneurysm burst, and he went into hospital. you know, and he nearly died. He had 30% chance to live, and he survived. But he was in operating table, and he was there for 8 hours. And you know, in that 8 hours, I felt peace. I felt peace that God was in control. And the words, I am the resurrection and the life, of what Christ said, I am the resurrection and the life, really, really helped me. It really, really did. So, I'm just saying today that in my despair today, I felt Christ lift me and help me. And I just want to say to all the atheists out there that if I've said anything that's upset you or whatever, if I've shown any wrong attitudes at times, if I've shown a lack of respect to you, if I've shown a lack of understanding, I'm sorry. Because I know that there are some out there that are genuine people who are trying to just work their own beliefs out. But some people can be very negative, and they can say negative things and be quite nasty, and it's those people that give other people a bad name. And I'm sorry for those ordinary atheists who just don't mean any harm towards me or have not meant any harm. But I've been quite strong in the things that I've said because of these very negative kind of militant atheist type people, you know. And I just want to say that if I've said anything that's not been right, I'm sorry about that, and I'm sorry for failing you atheist in any way that I have failed. I'm sorry. And I just want to say that, you know, I just ask you to think about what I've said, and maybe just keep it in the back of your mind. And I just want to thank you that many of you do keep coming back to this channel. I don't know if it's because you just like being beaten over the head or what, I don't know. But I thank you because you've made this channel what it is, because you keep coming. But I just want to say that for the many thousands of ordinary atheists out there who've come on this channel, I just want to say thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for your time. Forgive me for the mistakes that I've made, and I just wish you all the best. When I have said things about these militant atheists, I don't mean you. I'm just meaning the extreme people who might be extreme in whatever position they're in. But that doesn't mean to say that there are ordinary people who are atheists who are respectful and kind. So I hope that's a blessing, and I hope you find Jesus. God bless you.